ignored. So what I'd like to do is go ahead and click Managed. And so now what happened is this went to pending configuration. And so while it went from unmanaged to pending configuration, if I go back and I show here, here's some of the actual activities that are taking place behind the scenes. So we'll let that kind of go through. It'll go from pending configuration to manage in a benchmark mode. So the first step is once we configure the device, we set, we take an initial snapshot of the state of the device. And the reason why we do that is because we want to allow the user to, at any point, if they so choose, to decommission a device, which essentially will turn it back to the settings that we found it in. So by managing, I'm first taking a snapshot of the device to configuration. And then once I have that snapshot, I'm setting the pool URLs based on what pool this particular device should be mining against. And then once that's configured, then we actually go in and we change the password. So you'll see that over a little period of time here that will switch status. But we have several different cards over here, and these 4 devices are actively being managed by the Titan agent and the scheduler. You'll notice some differences between the increased hash rate. The reason being is it's actually quite hot today here in California. So some devices are hitting thresholds quicker than others. And so this goes back to that individual device management. So we're individually managing each of these devices. So I'll kind of pull up a little bit of detail here. And Ryan mentioned earlier that we're pulling in the chip speed, the chip temp, the fan speeds. We have the hash rate that will load here in just a second. So here's my hash rate for the last several days. Then we have some details and the shares we're still working on. The details is just switching the name and if you want to associate a group with it. But you'll notice here though that see this as 533 megahertz at 86 degrees C. If I look at this device here, you'll notice this one's clocked up quite a bit higher. And then you'll notice that the fan speed is different. And then if I go over here to this one would be slightly different as well. So it's just doing an API call here real quick. And that one's running at a slightly different set of parameters as well. And so the point I'm trying to drive here is that each device is managed individually. And so the scheduler is really the brains to say, hey, for this specific device, here's the actions I want to take on that individual device itself.